Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video of Marvel Contest of Champions. It's going to be Mercy and Bubble Shield along with Mutagenic Acceleration today with 7.2.4. So for Mercy, every time you will avoid a hit or special with a Dexterity Mastery, you will get a Mercy passive on you, and you can transfer it to the opponent with using a well-timed block or a parry. And those Mercy charges just fall off at one charge will fall at 1.5 seconds. So during that you can do extra special attack damage by 80%, and if there is no mercy on the opponent, the damage given to them is reduced by 90%. Also, there's going to be bubble shield, so every time you block an attack, your block proficiency is reduced by 6%, and after 10 stacks the next attack is going to be unblockable, so you just need to be careful about that. And there's also mutagenic acceleration. Mutant champions have more combat power rate, so they will get to their specials faster, so you can combine that with mercy and get to an SP2, for example, for Colossus, and you can just use a well-timed block, transfer the mercy charges and throw your SP2, so that will do much more damage. For me, I've used some very different champions that make the pass super fast and super easy. So the most champions that will work here will be damage over time, so you don't have to worry about mercy and all those evades and dexterity, and the fight will be prolonged for no reason. And some of the options are there like Hyperion, Spider-Man Stark Enhanced, Archangel and Quake work as well. The boss is going to be today Immortal Abominations. More on him when we get into the fight. But before we jump into the part, guys, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel and turn on those post notifications. All of that really helped me out a lot. Now the first fight is going to be against the Jubilee, which is a very easy and simple fight. All you need to do is to keep her to an SP1 and keep baiting out that SP1, which is very easy to evade. That's just a jump in the air and she lands in front of her. So you can just keep her to an SP1 and build up your special 1 or special 2, and when you have that, then dex 2 or 3 times or 4 or 5 times, have 5 mercy charges, use a parry, convert those charges to the opponent, and then use a special attack, and that will do more damage, especially if you're doing a mutant. So I would suggest you highly to bring mutant champions here if you want to play the traditional mercy route. That is, I am doing with Warlock, but I have different champions. I have brought in a Magneto, I brought in a Mole Man, as well as Archangel with magic. So I'm gonna attempt the part a little differently, that makes it faster and much more easier in my opinion. Now the next defender is going to be a Thor Ragnorok. Now he is a metal champion, so I have brought in Magneto, what I'm gonna do is to build up to 40 prowess charges and have 4 to 5 mercy charges or passives on me with using dexterity mastery. And once I have enough charges of magnetism, so 40, I will just use a parry, and that will transfer all the mercy charges on the opponent, and then I will use my special 3, and that will easily kill him off. Other champions that you can use here very well are going to be your Gilly 2099, because the Degen will ignore the mercy, as well as Archangel, also Quake. All of these champions will ignore the mercy node, and you don't need to build up, or you don't need to worry about how many mercy passives you have. And then also another champion that works pretty well is going to be Spider-Man Stark Enhance. Once you do Dex back, you not only gain his poise charges, but you also gain the mercy charges, and after 10 you can just go in and you can kill off the defenders in only 10 hits. Now this next defender is probably the most annoying defender in this whole part. That is going to be Invisible Woman, because she can go invisible and she can retaliate back and put weakness on you and also vulnerability and give you a lot of damage. Now there are quite a few different champions you could use. I would suggest you to bring in champions that have True Strike and or Bleed. So for example, your Killmonger will work really well here, because not only with his SP2 he will have Indestructible, he will also gain back a lot of health with Willpower, and he has True Strike as well. Same goes with Archangel, the one I'm using. So this is going to be a slow paced fight. You just parry and use your heavy and try to build up those neurotoxins and bleeds and all the debuffs, and the debuffs will take over. You don't need to worry about mercy, because the neurotoxin will bypass mercy as well. Same goes for Quick. You can just stay in a corner and Quick her out, so that will also not affect the mercy node. You can bring in Nick Fury as well. With all those bleeds and True Strike, you will not miss, and you can easily do the fight. Same goes with Mole Man and with Blade, because he's a very easy bleeder. He's an easy access to bleeds with his parry. That will work as well. So it's your choice which champion you're gonna go in, but just play slow and carefully this fight. You can easily solo her. Now next defender is going to be a Squirrel Girl. Now Squirrel Girl's specials are very easily evadable. She is not much of a threat unless you get hit by her heavy attack, or she throws a special attack and you get the bleeds. Her bleeds are huge and probably can kill you off very quick. So I would suggest you to preferably bring in a mutant champion. Firstly, because it will interact nicely with Mercy. Secondly, he will have class advantage, and also they will do extra damage on specials. So a mutant champion that is bleed immune will work really well. So Omega Red, Colossus, Magneto, they should work well here. Another option that I'm going to use is going to be Archangel. I am just going to parry and heavy and that neurotoxin to kill her off. If not, you can also bring in champions like Mole Man, champions like Gilly 2099, Spider-Man Stark Enhance. You can also bring in champions like Human Torch and try to stack up those smolders and do more damage from that. But I would suggest not to bring against Squirrel Girl. But if you don't have any other option, he can work as well. Now Bishop is a very interesting fight. Depends on how you want to handle him. There are two ways to go about it. Either bring in an energy champion that has power control, so like a Dormammu, like a Voodoo, or like a Magic, and you can go against him with that. All you need to do is to let him build up his energy charges more than 30, and then he will self-damage himself and kill him off. And you can keep him power control. So if he cannot throw specials, he cannot get rid of those energy charges, and because of high energy charges, he will kill himself with the self-inflicting damage. You can do this with Voodoo as well. You can do this with Dormammu as well. Now if you don't want to go that route, you can go also the physical damage route. So you can bring in Spider-Man Stark Enhance, you can bring in Star-Lord, you can bring in champions that do physical damage but they do not do any kind of energy damage, and with no energy damage the specials will not be a threat and you can kill him off like that as well. You will just need to play around Mercy in that node, so the fight might be prolonged. I've just brought in magic and I'm just gonna take him to a corner and corner intercept him with my SP2s. With the SP2 and Limbo, he will gain all of those energy charges, and once he goes above 30 he will start killing himself with that self-inflicting damage, and all I need to do is to keep him power locked, do not give him a special so he cannot get rid of those charges. And yeah, that's about it guys. That makes this fight super fast and super easy. Mercy is one of the nodes in the game that prolongs the fight because of the way of the mechanics, but you can play around it with different champions and according to the defenders available in front of you. Now the final fight is going to be against a Human Torch. Now with Human Torch you can either bring in a champion that is Incinerate immune, or try not to get hit by his specials to avoid the Smolder, because if you do get a Smolder, even when you're attacking him you will get Incinerate on you. Another thing, his specials are very easily evadable, SP1 and SP2, and every time you evade them you will get 4 or 5 dexes for everyone, so that Mercy passive will build up naturally. So after every special you can use a parry, you will have 5 Mercy charges that will be transferred to him. That's around in 8 and 9 seconds that you can do a lot of damage. I am just using a Mole Man because once I go into Frenzy and I have 8 to 9 seconds I can literally destroy him. You can use similar champions as well for your runs. Again, try to bait up his specials. When you do evade his specials you will get Mercy charges, so this fight is much more easier than it looks. Just stay away from his specials and the Smolder and you will do just fine. And finally the boss fight is going to be against the Immortal Abomination. Now he is going to have enhanced special ones, so stay away from his special ones, and his special one has a long animation so he will corner you most probably. And apart from that there is going to be a hurt locker, so you cannot use the same kind of special attack 2 times in a row. And then there's going to be a new node here by the name of Meltdown. So if you notice there is a timer icon just below the bar of Immortal Abomination. Once it expires it does a certain amount of damage to whoever it is on, and it can be transferred through specials. So if I'm going to use a special attack it will be transferred to the defender, but if the defender uses a special attack it will be transferred to me. And with every transfer the timer is reduced by 5 seconds, so at times it will be only for 5 or 10 seconds and it will go by so fast. So to deal with all of that, what I found out, the best way is to bring in poison immune champions, so you don't need to worry about the poison, and preferably if they have power control they work really well against him. Now in my case I'm just using a Vision. Now this is a slow fight, but it is a assured fight that you can solo every time, because Vision will have a power control on SP1 and SP2 as well, and with his synthesis he can always stay above the power if you place a bit slow. Now because of that the meltdown timer will never come on us, because Immortal Abomination will not be able to use a special. The only time the meltdown timer will be onto us is when the timer will expire and do damage to Immortal Abomination, then it will be transferred to us, but we can easily transfer back by using a special attack as well. So bring in a Vision, Just use an SP2 and SP1. Keep him below a bar of power. Do not let him throw a special. So you not only negate the threat of his poison, the threat of his enhanced special one, you also remove the threat of his meltdown. You can achieve similar results if you're going to use Gilly 2099 and try to bring in a synergy with Warlock. Warlock works really well for the path as well. So every time Gilly 29 will be poisoned, she will gain a bar of power, and that will help you cycle the SP1s and SP2s as well. Another really good champion is going to be an Hyperion. Because he gets a lot of specials, it's easy for him to return the timer back to Abomination on the meltdown, but you need to be careful with the hurt locker on that one. And as always, wherever there are debuffs, you can always bring in and use a ghost. Now, and an added advantage with ghost is if you bring in hood synergy, you don't need to worry about that damage from the meltdown timer. You can just phase it, and during phase, because of your synergy, you will not take any damage. So a real fast option is going to be a ghost with hood. And finally, there's also Warlock. Warlock has power control on SP1, so you can use that to your advantage as well. All in all, it's not a difficult fight. You just need to manage the opponent's power and bring in a poison immune, and you will be able to kill him off relatively easily. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and you enjoyed the tips and tricks. If you did, guys, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those post notifications. All of that really helps me out a lot, and leave a comment down below. It helps me grow the channel. And apart from that, guys, I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.